I was giving that some thought when you first called. I think it was at the radio station, because back in those days, I'm not sure they still do this or not, but we had the public service announcement,
Yeah.
And I was reading a public service announcement, and it was mentioned the Pentacle Theatre. And, well, I'll give that a shot. We'll go out there and see a play. And I was looking in that book while you guys were talking, because I thought I remembered seeing a Bill Smith production, and I thought it was a musical, but I couldn't find it. But at any rate...
what year? 68?
It must have been 65, 66, something like that.
Oh.
But I didn't recognize the play that he directed. But at any rate, I thought, this looks neat. And I was, when I was going to school at U of O, I took some theater classes, and I got involved in theater there. But I stayed in school for 5 years, but the last year I was there, I wasn't taking a full load, so I got drafted. And then that took me away from everything, pretty much for 3 years. And so I didn't do any theater until I got back here to Salem. And it was a couple of years after being here in Salem that I was introduced to the Pentacle.
Wow. Did you go to Vietnam?
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. At Good Morning Vietnam. That was me. I was on the radio there.
Wow.
Dickie, wasn't your first show Dark of the Moon?
No, my first show was Harvey.
Oh, in 67.
Mm-hmm.
I see. But you were in
I was in Dark of the Moon.
Dark of the Moon.
Or as we call it, the Beacons Movers.
Tell that story, it's so funny.
I had an insignificant role in the thing, but there must have been 50 people in the cast, but most of us were involved in taking set pieces in and out, all 4 doors, because we wasn't around. And I remember telling a guy one time, we were taking the bed in, I said, my God, we could have done something for Beacons. It would have been much more fun. Every time we take that bed in, you go, and I could just see people in the audience go, oh my God, here comes the bed again.
Oh my God.
And I also noticed in that book that I think, was Harvey the first play in 67? At any rate, it was back-to-back plays.
It was the first play.
Okay, and I think the second play was a musical, Once Upon a Mattress.
Hold on.
And I was saying, how in the hell?
The Rainmaker was next.
Well, anyway, there were 2 of them I did back-to-back. But I remembered that, oh yes, the role I had in Once Upon a Mattress was the Silent King. Let's not go into that.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't tell you.
I don't know why those things stick in your mind more than anything else, though. I mean, your faux pas, your mistakes.
It seems like a year goes by.
I don't remember the good parts, so many of the good parts, but the bad things, I've done 2 silent. And one of them was very silent, because you were talking about missing an entrance. Well, some musical number was going on. I remember somebody said, "Enter the king!" Oh, well, he's running a little late today. And I was loping up from the basement from downstairs. Oh, God. Oh, but it's doubly tough to drop a cue when you don't have a line. I mean, One of my favorite stories I used to do a lot of talks when I was back in the radio days again, about the Pentacle Theatre, when we go to clubs, Lions clubs, that kind of stuff. Yeah. One of them I remember, I don't even remember where I heard this line, but someone told me a story back in the days when it was in the round and the audience was a little closer to you, that at a sort of a lull, it was a serious play, and someone from the back row, the man says, "I don't know how much more of this I can stand." I'm thinking to myself, my God, these poor actors, what must they think,
That's so bad.
And then there was another time, I think it was, I don't know why I happen to remember the play, but I think it was I Never Sang for My Father, when Robert Herzog and I were on stage, and one of the acts ends with he and I standing face to face about something. And then the second or third act opens with us in the same position. And so at any rate, Robert said his line, and I got ready to say my line, and I heard this noise. All right. So I said my line anyway. And then Robert says his line again, and I was getting ready to say my line. And there's this big crunch. A guy crunches in an apple. And it just reverberated around the
Oh,
God.
no.
It takes so little to throw you off.
Oh my God. You've done at Pentacle.
Oh, not an exact number, somewhere around 45, 50.
He directed too in the beginning.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah? What shows did you direct?
Star Spangled Girl, I was fond of. I think we did a good job on that one, and I did The Price. Oh, I have an interesting story about The Price. At that time, I was working for K-Video TV, and there was a guy by the name of John Duckworth, who was our film guy, librarian, and stuff like photography and all that. At any rate, he had done some acting, and actually wasn't a terrible actor. But I convinced him to do a role in The Price. I think it was the role that I played later, the junk salesman or the antique salesman or something. But at any rate, he sort of missed a cue at one point. And I went downstairs at the intermission. I said, everybody's doing a great job. I said, don't worry about it, John. He said, don't worry about what? I said, yeah, that cue you missed. He said, I missed a cue? I says, yeah, but you know, it was insignificant. He says, oh, that's it. I told you I didn't want to do this anymore. And he walked out. No. And I'm following up to the parking lot, trying to convince him, John, you can't go now. We've got to go on with the show. And mercifully, he came back to do it. I never had another word with him. And he got way too many laughs in that role, but I couldn't say anything to him about it. John, it's a serious piece. You know?
Arthur Miller, your favorite comedy.
Yes,
The
yes.
Price.
Oh,
Arthur Miller comedy.
yes.
Mr. Bond is.
But
Yeah.
I did have a good experience in Star Spangled Girl of having Ron Fox and Sally Isaacs in it. And I wish to God I could remember that young man's name who was so good. He was an MC in, I think, the first time we did Carousel. He shared off with someone else, but he was very good. But the three of them were the only ones in the play, and they were all very good, very good.
Wow.
Oh, Ron. Here's another story. Ron was driving an old Jaguar at the time.
Oh my God.
I
And,
remember that Jag.
Yeah, and he had to park illegally downstairs right in front of the door. But at one point, someone gets locked to a radiator. And he has, obviously the other actor has the key to unloosen it. So when time comes to unloosen him, Ron can't find the key. He's left the key in the car. So Sally and this other guy had to ad-lib while he goes, and I'm up there going, oh my God.
No.
Unbelievable.
If you ran into someone who had never heard of Pentacle, what would you say about Pentacle? And
Well, you know, I was somewhat amazed at one point when it was on the board, and I never gave any thought to how many community theaters there are in the country. But it's dumbfounding. Right here in our area, we have the VLT in Eugene, which has been in existence, I think, about
Longer
as long
than us.
as the Pentacle. We have the Albany Civic Theater, and we have McMinnville, right in this area. And
Well, now we have even more.
well, yeah, but I mean, the others that you're thinking of are relatively new.
Yes.
But I'm talking about ones that we think, as well we should, of the
Fresh
Pentacle
knowledge.
Theater being a real, cornerstone of the community, if you will. We were the theater here for a long time. Now, mercifully, there are a bunch of them, and everyone can get involved. It's like Joe. I heard Joe say something about how important it is for young students to get involved because it can stick with you. Theater is something you can do for a lifetime,
that's right.
And I don't know, but the Pentacle is, I think, really an important part of the community, and we think of it as we all should, those, especially those of us who were involved in it, as a gift to the community, and a gift to the people who involved themselves in it.
Did it change your life?
Well, it has certainly embellished my life. Gives your life a good deal more meaning. I always thought that, well, I'm not poo-pooing my communications career, but I was never really totally invested in that. You know, it didn't have the same kind of impact on me as a person as the theater did. You know, that's something you really look forward to doing, and also I think as much as anything, it opened you up to a whole different cadre of people that you would have never come in contact with before.
Yeah.
And it's more like a family unit for 12, 13 weeks, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those relationships last for a long time, fortunately. But even if they don't, for those 12 weeks, my God, you're introduced to a whole new group that you would have never come in contact with before.
Yeah.
And it's fun to go back year after year after year and see these people doing different things, you know, different shows, different types of characters that, oh, I only thought so-and-so was a singer. Well, no, apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he and his contribution, he served for president at least twice, 3 times. He was part of the hard knock world of running the damn thing.
Yeah.
Be in an institution.
What did you say?
He should be institutionalized.
Yes.
No,
I
really.
should be in
No,
an
really.
institution.
People like Dick at Pentacle are legendary,
Absolutely.
as they should be, because really, I mean, God.
Well, I mentioned yesterday, I said you're a fixture, but that sounds a lot like plumbing.
That'll
But
work too.
But then he said, no, I'm a fossil. A fossil.
Well, the thing is, we have to
You're a fossil.
love and cherish those who are.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about people like Dick. There aren't many left, frankly, who really made this theater happen.
Yeah.
Which it wouldn't necessarily have happened. I mean,
Well-
we lost Bob Putnam. What's her name? Maggie Rignolda. I had the pleasure of meeting her. But those early people who persevered over terribleness, storefronts, they did shows,
Yeah.
the barn. I mean, are you kidding? Pioneers.
Yeah.
I just came along in the middle. I mean, thank God I came along. It's 66 years, by the way,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
This
the
is our
next
66.
the next celebration thing is 70 years. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God. I want to be alive for that, Dickie. Let's not catch the virus.
No coronavirus.
I think pneumonia will get us before the virus comes to us.
Oh, for God's sake. That's a terrible thing to say.
To that answer, no. I can't imagine doing a lot of the roles I've done as an 85-year-old man. No. No, I can't. But I do have a fondness for Harvey. This stands out in my mind because I thought that I'd done Harvey 4 times, but checking through that book, I've only done it 3 times. But the first show I did was Harvey, and I was way too young for. I was Dr. Chumley of Chumley's Rest, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember the man who did Elwood in that production, but he was a long time and I think well respected Pentacle performer. But the next 2 times I got to do Elwood. But now, getting back to your original question, is there a show that I would like to do? A good going away show for me would be Harvey as the taxi driver. Because I think the taxi driver wraps up the feeling of the show, really. Harvey, to me, is not a gut-busting comedy. It's a sweet show.
Yeah.
And it's a smiling show. You sit there in the audience and smile through the whole thing. And occasionally you have a nice big belly laugh, but it's just a wonderful show. And I have such fond feeling for it. Now, of course, a lot of people would tell you that any of the tuna shows would be.
Tuna!
And I really enjoyed those too, because I mean, when does an actor have the opportunity to do 10 different characters in one night? And Tom and I, we did 3 or 4 of them? 3, I think.
Yeah,
No, 4. They did 5.
Tuna,
Tuna Christmas, Tuna does Vegas. We didn't do the one about the 4th of July. It's the only one we did.
But you did those 3, but Greater Tuna you did 3 times.
Yeah.
By the way, the changes. Margaret Boatwright, her daughter Blair Cromwell, and her granddaughter Hannah.
Oh, without them, we could have never done it.
They are the changers. They did the Vegas. Oh my God, why didn't we do that? It kills me. It was so funny. Oh my God.
It was as much a show backstage as it was in front. You know, what I really appreciate when acting with a fellow actor, it's the reaction. It's the give and take type situation. If what you're getting back from that person, that's what really can embellish whatever you're doing. It connects. If you're connecting, that's all important. And some people have that ability to do it, and other people, I don't know. It's sort of it's only me that you know.
Yeah.
But it's not only just me. You know, if it's just you, it's wrong. If it works right, it's not really acting. It's really more like a conversation. You know, like what we're having here. And you've got to get into the character to do that.
Yeah.
But that requires both of you doing that too. Can't just be one. Oh, you're great, but I'm not so hot, and vice versa. You know.
Yeah.
But some people really have that ability to connect. I don't remember the name of the guy, but he was only here for a short period of time, and I think not only was he an actor, but I think he did sort of Tony Zandel's job for a while. He was maybe before Tony or something. Jim something, as I recall. But I remember what?
No,
I remember a play he was in that took place on a little bridge or something. Love was the play, and he was eating a banana. And instead of peeling a banana, he somehow does it like a thing of corn, a corn cob, and eats it like that. And, God, that was great. I mean, it was nothing, but it was so unusual, so different that it really, you know, called attention to itself. And, oh, you're mesmerized by something like that.
Yeah.
But he was a great actor, and I think I was in one play with him. And you know, when you're giving lines, you're getting something back. You know, it's not just like, here's my line, I'm gonna read my line, and you read your line. Oh, that's my cue. And no, it wasn't like that. It was a conversation.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
He inspires you, and hopefully, maybe it goes the other way too. There's so many people like that over the years that you know you've had the opportunity to work with.
Right, and that's kind of where I was going next. Who are some of those people that were so remarkable?
The Legion, you know, and it goes back to the 60s, and it goes right up through whatever the last show you did was. It, and they come and they go, but my gosh.
Yeah.
And some of them have, mercifully, for our purposes, have stuck around so long, and over the years have been, fixtures at Pentacle.
Yeah.
Others have unfortunately just sort of come and gone, but you sure remember them when they were here.
Yeah.